Good morning, guys. Welcome to the online classes. We were discussing about the thermodynamics. Under that, we have discussed up to the intensive and extensive properties in the last class. Hope you know the difference between the intensive and extensive properties. We'll continue with the discussion of the properties of thermodynamics. The properties which defines the state of system are called as thermodynamic properties, and there are different. They have been classified into various types based on the different aspects. In the last class, we have seen the classifications as well as macroscopic and microscopic. Basically, thermodynamical properties are applicable for macroscopic. They are not applicable for the microscopic. And based on the dependence upon the amount of the mass, thermodynamic properties are classified into two types. That is intensive properties as well as extensive properties. So the properties which depends upon the amount of the substance are said to be extensive properties. Okay. The properties that are dependent upon the amount of substance are called as extensive properties. Thermodynamical properties such as mass, volume, number of moles, entropy, enthalpy, internal energy, etc. are the examples of extensive properties since they depend upon the amount of the mass. When it comes to the properties which are independent of the amount of substance or mass are called as intensive property. Right? So the important thing to be noted on is that whenever you keep molar, when you fix the mass of any extensive property, then that property will become an intensive property. Okay, I think in the last class I gave a question to you solve which of the following is an extensive property. I might have given some some options for that. The correct answer for that question is among the given options, resistivity is the answer. What is the answer? Resistivity. Resistivity is an example of extensive property. It is an extensive property which depends upon the amount of substance. Why it depends on the amount of substance? Basically, matter stated about the resistance. Resistance will be directly proportional to the length of the conductor, and as well as resistance will be inversely proportional to the cross section area of the conductor. So, what we can do, resistivity will be directly proportional to L upon A. Okay, because of that, as it is depending upon the amount of the substances, we can categorize this into extensive property. And one more important aspect of this intensive and extensive properties that ratio, product and sum of intensive property is always intensive. What is mean by this? Summation. Let us assume I is an intensive property. Let us denote the intensive properties with I. Right? Summation of intensive property will be an intensive property, and subtraction of intensive property will be an intensive property. And multiplication, product of intensive properties will be intensive, and a ratio of intensive property will also be an intensive. Right? And whereas product and sum of extensive properties is extensive, but ratio of extensive property is intensive. See, suppose summation of extensive property will be always an extensive property, and product of extensive property is also an extensive property, but ratio of extensive property will be intensive. This is what you need to remember. Right? For example, let us say mass upon value. We know that mass is an extensive property or intensive property? Extensive property. And value is also extensive property. But the ratio of mass to value is basically what is density. Whereas density is an intensive property. This is what you need to remember. Right? Sum and product of extensive properties will be extensive, and whereas the ratio of the extensive property will be intensive. Right? Hope it is clear so far. Now we will discuss about another important term which is called as state of system. Let us try to understand what is meant by state of a system. State of a system. State of a system means a system is said to have a certain state. A system is said to have a certain state when all the thermodynamic variables have a fixed value. Then the system is said to have a certain state. For example, if I state this is a system one of state one of a system, right? Now, what is meant by this? When you say a system is having a certain state, when its all thermodynamic variables are having a fixed value, it should have a fixed temperature, it should have a fixed value, it should have a fixed mass, it should have a fixed number of moles, it should have a fixed internal energy. Then that system is said to be, right? When it having a fixed value of all the thermodynamic variables, we call it as having a certain state, right? When you change any one of the thermodynamic thermodynamic variables, right? The system will undergo stage. It will move to a state 2. If you are assuming as initial state, it will be final state. Suppose I keep this system at 25 degrees centigrade, right? If I change the temperature to 50 degrees Celsius, right? It's at certain value and certain mass and certain number of moles, and it is at 25 degrees Celsius. If I change any one of the properties, suppose if I change the temperature or I may increase or decrease any variable, then what I can change in any thermodynamic variable will make the changes in the state of the system. Now, this process associated with the change in the state of the system is called as thermodynamic operation. What we call it as thermodynamic operation, or we also call it as thermodynamic process. We call it as. Right? This is the meaning of state of a system. Right? What is meant by state of a system? A system is said to be in a certain state when all its thermodynamic variables are having fixed value. If you change any one of the thermodynamic variables, then what happens? System will move from one state to the other state. Right? The process which is associated with this change in the system is called as thermodynamic operation or thermodynamic process. We call it as. Right? Based on this, these thermodynamic properties are of two types. There are. Okay. The properties can also be classified into the two types based on the whether they are state dependent or path dependent. Right? Now let us see the first step, that is state functions. State functions are, they are also called as state variables. What they are called? State variables. State functions are state variables. Now, what is meant by state variables? The thermodynamic properties, those thermodynamic properties which defines the state of system or which changes only with when system goes from one state to the other state, right? That type of properties, the thermodynamic properties which depends upon the state of the system irrespective of the manner how the change is being brought, right? Those type of thermodynamic properties are said to be state functions, right? What is meant by state function? Thermodynamic properties which defines state of system and depends only upon initial and final state of this system. Does not depend the manner in which change is brought. What is mean by this? Right? The thermodynamic properties which will define the state of the system and which only depends upon the initial and final state of the system. Right? Suppose if you are talking about here the system is moving from state 1 to state 2. What is the change here? The temperature is being increased. Right? So here the temperature of the system will depend upon the only initial state as well as the final state. It does not depend upon how this change is brought. That means you are increasing the temperature. Temperature can be increased in several ways. You can provide the temperature directly in a single step, or you can provide the temperature in step by step. You are providing in each step 5 degrees of Celsius. Such in the manner, what is the difference here? 25 degrees of temperature difference is there. This 25 degrees of temperature can be provided in various ways. In each step you can provide 1 degree, or you can provide the temperature in several. For example, let me discuss with an example. This system only, let us take system. There is a system which is at state A and it is moving to the state B, right? We will take the temperature differential. Okay, it is at a temperature of 25 degrees and it is at a temperature of 50 degrees. What is mean by this? If this change can be brought in two ways. Directly, what is this? Now see, we are taking this as a temperature. This is the assumed temperature at 25 degrees Celsius and it is at 50 degrees Celsius. Directly, you can rise the temperature from 25 to 50 degrees in a single step. This is called delta T. Okay, delta T will be, it is the, what is the mean by delta T? Delta T will be equal to T final minus T initial. What is T initial at 25 degrees? What is T final? 50 degrees Celsius. This is the one way in which the change can be brought. What is the other way? The other way is that you can bring this temperature to the 50 degrees by step. Increase 2 degrees or 5 degrees in one step. Again 5 degrees, again 5 degrees, again 5 degrees. This is the T initial it is. This is the T final, which is at 50 degrees Celsius. Right? This is at 25 degrees Celsius. Here also, the delta T will be equal to 25 degrees only. Here also, the delta T will be equal to 25 degrees only. Are you getting this? This type of thermodynamic properties, which will depend upon the state of the system, irrespective of how the change has been brought. The temperature of the system can be raised in several ways. By directly heating, or by exposing to the light, or by supplying the heat in gradually step by step, or supplying the heat in a single step. Okay, there are several ways of changing the temperature. But okay, this change in the temperature will depend only upon the initial and final state of the system. It does not depend upon the how the change is being brought. Okay, now let us see what are the different types of state functions. Basically, examples of state functions are, you can take pressure, temperature, value, number of moles denoted with N, and you can also take enthalpy denoted with H, entropy denoted with S, free energy gives free energy denoted with G, right? And internal energy. These are the 8 important state functions. What are the state functions? Temperature, pressure, value, number of moles, internal energy, enthalpy, entropy, gives free energy. Right? These 8 are considered as state functions. They will depend upon only the initial and final state of the system, and they does not depend upon how the change is being brought. Right? Now, the change in state functions is basically denoted with the delta. Okay, and delta, assume the state function you are talking A, it will be equal to A final minus A initial. For example, if you are talking about the state function pressure, delta P will be equal to, what is that? P final minus P initial. If you are talking about value, change in value will be equal to what? V final minus V initial. Right? If you are talking about change in enthalpy, H final minus H initial. Right? All those thermodynamic properties which can be denoted with the delta or D, they can also be denoted with D. A small change is basically denoted with the D, and a large change is basically denoted with delta. Okay, you can also denote it with the delta D. D means what? E final minus E initial. DG minus what? G final minus G initial. So delta N means what? N final minus N initial, like this. All these thermodynamic properties which depend upon the state of the system are said to be what? State functions. Alright? They do not depend upon how the change is being brought. Alright? Another important property is that path functions. These are called as path functions or path variables. Okay? They can be defined as there are certain thermodynamic properties which do not depend upon the state of the system. They do not depend upon the initial and final state of the system. They will only depend how the change is being brought. They will depend upon the path in which the change is being made. Okay, those type of thermodynamic properties are said to be path functions. For example, let us write the definition for it. Thermodynamic properties that depends on the path in which change is brought and independent and does not depend upon initial and final state of the system are said to be what? Path functions. The examples of path functions are, there are two examples of in our syllabus, that is work and heat are basically examples of path functions. Let us see what is meant by this. Alright, suppose if a system goes from a state A to B, there are several ways in which this change can be brought. Directly the system may go from A to B in straight, or the system may go clockwise, right? Or the system may go anti-clockwise. This is the clockwise and anti-clockwise. Let us discuss with a practical example. Okay. Work and heat will depend upon in what manner the change is being made, right? Whether it is done in a single step or it is being done in a several step, right? Whether it is done directly or whether it is done indirectly. They do not depend upon the initial and final state. This is the initial state, this is final state. The work and heat do not depend upon the initial and final state. But whereas the state functions will only depend upon the initial and final state, irrespective of how the change has been brought. Suppose if you are coming from college from home, there may be several paths through which you can come to the college, and there are several manners in which you can come to the college. Suppose assume that if you are coming by bicycle or if you are coming by motorcycle, the energy that you need to spend to come to the college will be different when you are coming to the college on foot. When you are coming to the college on foot, what happens? The energy consumed or the energy expended by you will be more when you are comparing with when you are coming on a motorcycle or bicycle, right? Though the initial and final state remains the same, right? The amount of energy you are expecting is not depending upon the initial and final stage, right? The manner in which you are covering this journey will decides what amount of energy or what amount of work you are going to do. If you are coming on foot, you need to spend a little bit more amount of work, you need to do a little bit more amount of work. If you are coming on a bicycle, a bit of less amount of work you need to do. If you are coming on a motorcycle, you do further less amount of work. If you are coming there are different ways. This is the meaning of it. Okay. Now this is the difference between the path function and state function. Hope it is clear the difference, because we can directly get whenever we are going to discuss about all these thermodynamic properties, enthalpy, entropy, internal energy, we need to define whether what type of properties, whether it is a state function or whether it is path function. Okay, that the properties of this thermodynamic property will depend upon various aspects. One of the property will be whether it is a state dependent or path dependent. For example, let me ask you a question. Alright. You may get a question like this now. Which of the following is a state function? You will be given options like temperature, like work, like heat, like none. What will be which of the following is a state function? Okay, obviously have already written about what we call temperature is a state function. Like this, we may directly get an objective question based on the nature of the property. Okay, whether it is extensive or intensive, whether it is state function or path function. There are only 8 state functions and 2 path functions. It is very easy to remember them. Okay, I will give a clue how to remember it. Right. Later I will give once we go into the discussion. Let me ask one more question. Which of the following are true? Is are true? Which of the following is are true regarding value? First, option A, it is an extensive property. Option B, I can give it's an intensive property. Okay, option C, it's a state function. There is a state function. Option D, it's a path function. Which of the following are true for the value? We have already discussed about the extensive properties, intensive properties, state function and path function. Which of the following is are true regarding value? Okay, value, we know that value is what type of property it is, extensive or intensive, because it depends upon the amount of the substance. So any thermodynamic property which depends upon the amount of the substance is said to be extensive. Hope you understood. Suppose if I divide this room into 2, what happens? Volume gets divided into 2. So on dividing, if it gets half, then it is an extensive property. That means what? That is depending upon the amount of the substance. So first of all, volume is an extensive property, right? And when it comes to the state function or path function, whether it is a state function or path function, we just have discussed. Pressure, volume, temperature, internal energy, enthalpy, entropy, these are all state functions. Right? Now, if I ask the same question for the similar sort of question I can ask. Alright, which of the following is true for temperature? The same options I give. This will be extensive, B I can give intensive, and C I can give state function, and D I can give path function. So which of the following is true for the temperature? We know that temperature is an extensive or intensive. Temperature is an intensive property. It does not depend upon the amount of mass. Whether you are taking 1 liter of water or whether you are taking 10 liters of water, the boiling point of the water remains same. It will be the 100 degrees only. So because of that, what we can say? Temperature is an intensive property. And what sort of function it is in terms of state and path? Just as discussed that it is a state function. You may get this type of objective questions from the types of thermodynamic properties. Hope it is clear so far. Now, let us discuss another important aspect of this thermodynamic properties. Equilibrium and non-equilibrium. Let us try to understand what is meant by equilibrium and non-equilibrium. A system is said to have an equilibrium state when all its thermodynamic properties are having a fixed value throughout the system. When we say system is in equilibrium state, when its thermodynamic properties are having fixed value throughout the system, then it is said to be equilibrium. A system is said to be in equilibrium. A system is said to be in equilibrium when all its thermodynamic properties are having value or same value throughout the system. Okay, if the thermodynamic properties are having different values in different parts of the system, then it is said to be in non-equilibrium state. What we call it as non-equilibrium state. Non-equilibrium state. Let us try to understand this. Let us assume that this is a system. Right? In this system, if you measure the temperature at any point, at this point, or you may take this point, or you may take this point, or you may take this point, you may take this point, at all the points of the system, if the temperature is having a one fixed value, only one value, the same value, then it is said to be in equilibrium state with respect to the temperature. Right? If the value of the system is same throughout the system, then it is said to be in equilibrium in terms of value. Suppose if the temperature measured at this point of the system is something T1, if the temperature at this point of the system is T2, then if T1 and T2 are same, we call it as equilibrium. If T1 or T2 are not equal to one another, then we say the temperature of the system is different at different points of the system. Then this system is said to be non-equilibrium and this system is said to be equilibrium. This is the meaning of equilibrium and non-equilibrium. Okay, and this generally important note is that you have to make a note of this. Thermodynamic properties are applied only in equilibrium state. Thermodynamic properties are applied only in equilibrium state of the system. Okay, because of that reason you should know what is meant by equilibrium and non-equilibrium. Right? Now let us see that what are the different types of equilibrium. There are different types of equilibrium such as we say thermal equilibrium. Okay, let us see what is meant by thermal equilibrium. If the temperature of the system is same throughout the system, then what we say, if temperature is constant throughout the system, then we say it is in thermal equilibrium. The term thermal stands for temperature. Right? And another equilibrium we can say mechanical equilibrium. What is the other type of equilibrium? Mechanical equilibrium. Mechanical equilibrium means if the pressure is constant throughout the system, then it is called mechanical equilibrium. And there is another type of equilibrium which is called as chemical equilibrium. What is the meaning of chemical equilibrium? Chemical equilibrium means that if the composition of the system is the same throughout, right? Then it is said to be what? Chemical equilibrium. Okay, thermodynamic properties are applied only on the equilibrium state. And what is meant by equilibrium? When thermodynamic property is having the same value throughout the system, then it is said to be in equilibrium state. If the thermodynamic values are different in different parts of the system, then the system is said to be in the non-equilibrium state. Thermodynamic properties. Thermodynamic process. Thermodynamic process. Let's see what is meant by thermodynamic process. Thermodynamic process means when a system moves from one state to another state, the operation involved is called thermodynamic process. Okay, thermodynamic process. For example, assume that there is a system which is at state A, if it is moving to the state B. Okay, that means it is assume that it is a lower temperature, it is going to the higher temperature. If any one of the thermodynamical property is getting changed, then we say the system is changed from one state to the other state. Right? So, what are the process or what are the operation you are doing to change the state of the system? That operation is said to be process. Okay, suppose what you have to do in order to change the temperature of the system, you need to provide the heat. Heat can be provided in various ways, right? Or the temperature of the system can be raised by several ways, right? So this process or operation that is made to change the state of the system is said to be process. And there are different types of thermodynamical process. What is because this is actually called as thermodynamic process. Okay, the operation made to change the state of system is called as thermodynamic process. There are different types of thermodynamic process. We will see the types of thermodynamic process. Hope it is clear what is meant by the process. We will see the different types of thermodynamic processes. Right? The first one we can see isothermal process. Isothermal process. Okay, let us see what is meant by isothermal process. When a system undergoes change in state at constant temperature. Okay, if the change in the system is made at constant temperature, then that thermodynamical process is called as isothermal process. Iso means same, thermal means temperature, right? Okay, the process which are carried out, or otherwise you can say the process which are carried out at constant temperature are called as, in other words we can say it as the process, thermodynamical process. The thermodynamical process carried out at constant temperature. It means what? Temperature is constant. Okay, we are made the temperature to be constant. If the temperature is constant, what will be the change in the temperature through this process? Right? Suppose if a system is going from state A to B at a constant temperature, what will be the change in the temperature? Change in temperature in isothermal process. Isothermal process. It is denoted by delta T. Alright. So what is meant by T final minus T initial? Since this temperature is constant, change in temperature will be 0. The processor which are carried at constant temperature, it can be delta T or it can also be B. Change in the temperature will be constant. Right? The processors which are carried at constant temperature are called as isothermal process. Important thing to be noted down is that for gases, for ideal gases, internal energy. We will discuss what is meant by internal energy later. Just remember this: internal energy is given as a function of temperature. Internal energy is basically given as a function of temperature for ideal gases, only for ideal gases. If delta in ideal gases in isothermal process, since delta T is 0, then what happens? delta E will also be 0. This is only applicable for ideal gases, it is not applicable for the real gases. Since for ideal gases, okay, the internal energy will only vary with the temperature, right? Since the temperature is kept constant, the change in the internal energy of the gas, ideal gas, will be 0. This is an important point to be noted down regarding the ideal gases. The second process is called as isobaric process. Isobaric process. Let us see what is meant by isobaric process. Okay, the thermodynamic process carried out at constant pressure are known as isobaric process. This terminology is very important. Okay, that means what? We keep the pressure as constant. There will be no change in the pressure throughout the process. If P is constant, then what happens? Change in the pressure throughout this process will be 0. Whether it may be delta P or whether it may be dP, the change in the pressure will be 0. Alright? Now, this is about the isobaric process as well as isothermal process. There are few more processes. Third one is isoporic process. The name itself gives thermodynamic process carried out at constant value or called as isoporic process. If value is constant, it is V equal to K, then what are the change in value will be 0, or we can also do it as change in value will be 0. Generally, in the thermodynamics, in case of ideal gases, the work done is given with respect to the pressure and value change. With respect to the value change, basically we are going to discuss about this particular work done after this topic immediately. But I just wanted to give the idea of basically work done will be given into minus P external into change in value. If the change in value is 0, then what happens? Work done will be 0. If change in value is 0, then what happens? Work done will be 0. Okay, we will discuss how we get this equation of W equal to minus K external into dV. Just remember that in isoporic process, dV and delta V and dV are 0. If delta V and dV are 0, then what happens? Work done by ideal gas will be 0. Okay. Now another important process we see adiabatic process. Okay. Adiabatic process means, okay, when a thermodynamic system goes from one state to other state with no heat change, without any heat change between system and surroundings, then it is said to be adiabatic process. Here basically heat is represented with Q. In this process, Q, what is meant by Q? Heat of the system will be 0. Either it will absorb the heat or it will be give the heat. See, this type of process are carried out. Adiabatic processes are carried out in insulated containers. Right? These are some important thermodynamic processes. There are few more important thermodynamic processes such as cyclic process, reversible process, irreversible process. We will discuss about those processes in the next class because as we are running out of the time. better I will stop here itself. Okay, otherwise the video will go too lengthy. Okay, now that's all for the day. Hope you understood. Okay, thank you.